Hey there, I'm Linda Harper, 58 years old, living in the same beautiful colonial house in Dublin, Ohio, just outside Columbus, that my late husband Tom and I bought way back in 1988. It's got the white siding, black shutters, wraparound porch with rocking chairs, and that big oak tree in the front yard where the kids used to climb when they were little. The neighborhood's one of those classic Midwestern suburbs. Tree-lined streets, everyone knows everyone, block parties in the summer, kids riding bikes until the streetlights come on. It's safe, comfortable, home. Tom passed 10 years ago, sudden heart attack at 52. One day he was grilling steaks in the backyard, laughing about the Browns game. The next, he was gone. It broke me, shattered our family, but I held it together, for the kids. Emily was 22 then, just out of college, and Jake was 19, still figuring things out at community college. I became everything: mom, dad, cheerleader, financial advisor, therapist, whatever they needed. People always said I was the perfect mom, and honestly, I prided myself on it. When the kids were growing up, I was the one organizing the carpool for soccer practice, baking cookies for every bake sale, volunteering as room parent every year. Tom worked long hours as an accountant, so I was the constant. School plays, front row with a bouquet. Science fair, staying up all night helping build volcanoes that actually erupted. When Tom died, I doubled down. If the kids needed anything, anything at all, I was there, no questions asked. Emily's my oldest, 32 now, married to Ryan, this steady, kind engineer she met at Ohio State. They live about 20 minutes away in a cute little ranch house in Hilliard. 3 bedrooms, big backyard, perfect for the grandkids I keep hinting about. Emily's a marketing coordinator for a big insurance company downtown. Smart as a whip, always has been. Ryan's great too, treats her like gold, coaches youth baseball on weekends. They're solid, happy, or so I thought. Then there's Jake, my baby, 29, still single, bouncing between jobs the last few years, graphic design, bartending, even a stint at a startup that folded. He's been living in my basement, temporarily, for the last 3 years, rent-free, of course. I cook for him, do his laundry sometimes, slip him gas money when he's short. He's talented, my Jake, just needs a little push, a safety net. I thought I was helping, being the mom they could always count on. After losing Tom, I couldn't bear the idea of losing them too, to distance, to independence, to life pulling them away. So I stayed close, real close. Sunday dinners are sacred. My kids, Ryan, sometimes Jake's flavor of the month girlfriend. I cook Tom's favorites: pot roast, mashed potatoes, green beans with bacon, apple pie for dessert. We sit around the big oak table in the dining room, the one Tom and I picked out on our 10th anniversary, and talk, laugh, catch up. Lately, though, things have felt off. Emily cancels more often. Work's crazy, Mom, or Ryan's got a headache. Jake rolls his eyes when I ask about job applications or suggest I proofread his resume. I've got it, Mom, chill. I brush it off. They're busy, stressed, adults with their own lives. But I worry. That's what moms do. Last month, I was cleaning Emily's old room, now the guest room, but still with her high school trophies on the shelf and some boxes in the closet. She'd asked me to tidy up before they stayed over for a weekend. I was dusting, organizing, when I opened a drawer in the old nightstand. There was a letter, thick envelope, my name on the front, Linda Harper, in Emily's neat handwriting, dated 6 months ago, unopened, hidden under some old journals. My heart skipped. Why hide a letter to me? I shouldn't have opened it, but I did. Dear Mom, I've started this letter a dozen times. I love you so much. You've been everything to us since Dad died, but I need you to hear this. Your help isn't helping anymore. It's suffocating us. Dropping by unannounced with groceries because you worry we're not eating right, calling Ryan's mom when we're late to family events to check if everything's okay, rearranging my kitchen because it's more efficient this way, paying Jake's bills behind his back so he doesn't stress. It feels like control, Mom, not love. We're adults, married, trying to build our own lives, but every time we try to stand on our own, you swoop in. Jake can't move out because you make it too easy to stay. Ryan and I can't make our own decisions without your input. If you don't stop, if you don't give us space, we're moving. Far away. Somewhere you can't help anymore. I'm sorry. I hate hurting you, but we need this. Love, Emily. My hands shook so hard the pages rattled. Tears blurred the words. My daughter threatening to leave me because of me? I thought I was helping, being there, the perfect mom. But what if I was ruining them? What if my love was the problem? I hid the letter in my nightstand, didn't tell a soul, tried to act normal. But then the anonymous texts started. Unknown number. You read the letter. Good. Now listen, or lose them forever. I deleted it, blocked the number, but another came. Stop helping, or everyone sees what you really are. Attached was a photo of me in Emily's kitchen, going through their mail on the counter, taken from outside the window. Someone was watching, and they knew everything. I sat at my kitchen table long after reading Emily's letter. The pages spread out in front of me like evidence in a trial I never saw coming. The house was quiet, too quiet, the kind of silence that presses in after the kids have grown and moved out, broken only by the tick of the grandfather clock Tom and I bought on our 20th anniversary. Afternoon sun slanted through the blinds, casting stripes across the oak table where we'd shared thousands of family meals. My coffee had gone cold hours ago. The letter wasn't angry. That's what hurt most. It was calm, measured, loving even. Emily had poured out her heart, how my constant help made her feel incompetent, like she couldn't adult without me swooping in. The surprise visits with casseroles just in case, calling her work to check on her schedule when she missed a call, offering advice on everything from paint colors in their house to whether they should start trying for kids yet. And Jake, God, Jake, she wrote about how I enabled him, paying his credit card emergencies without telling him, letting him live rent-free in the basement with no end date. He'll never grow up if you keep babying him, Mom. I read it 3 times. 4. Tears blurring the words until I had to wipe my eyes with the sleeve of Tom's old Ohio State sweatshirt, the one I still wore on bad days. How had I not seen this? I was helping, being there. After losing Tom so suddenly, I couldn't bear the thought of my kids struggling, of them needing something and me not providing it. Wasn't that what good mothers did? I folded the letter carefully, slid it back into the envelope, and hid it in my nightstand drawer under some scarves. Couldn't bring myself to throw it away, couldn't face telling anyone about it either. Not yet. That night, I barely slept, tossed and turned in the king-sized bed that still felt too big without Tom beside me, replayed every helpful thing I'd done. Was Emily right? Had I crossed lines? The next morning, I tried to act normal, made coffee, watered the plants on the porch, waved at Mrs. Jenkins, walking her dog like always, but my phone buzzed while I was pouring cereal. Unknown number. I almost ignored it, thought it was a scam, but I answered. No voice, just a text. You read the letter. Good. Now listen carefully. Back off or lose them forever. My spoon clattered into the bowl, milk splashing onto the counter. I stared at the screen, blocked the number immediately, hands shaking. It had to be a prank, some kid from the neighborhood messing around, or one of Jake's friends pulling a cruel joke. But deep down, I knew it wasn't. Another text came an hour later, from a different unknown number. I'm watching. Stop helping, or everyone finds out what you really are. Attached, a photo. Me, in Emily and Ryan's kitchen last week, standing at their counter, flipping through a stack of their mail when they were in the other room. I'd been dropping off some tomatoes from my garden and noticed the pile, just checking for anything important, I'd told myself. The photo was taken from outside their window, through the blinds, time-stamped. My stomach lurched. Someone had been there, watching me invade their privacy. I deleted it, blocked that number too. Tried to breathe. Called Emily, just to hear her voice, make sure she was okay. Hey, sweetie, just checking in. Everything good? Yeah,
Fine. Busy day. Ryan's working late. Oh, well, if you need anything. We're good, Mom, really. Short, polite, distant. I hung up feeling worse. That afternoon, another text. Good girl, keep your distance, but don't think it's over. No photo this time, just dread. I started second-guessing everything. Did I help too much? Was Emily right? I decided to pull back, test the waters. Didn't call Jake about the job fair I'd seen advertised. Didn't text Emily offering to babysit their dog while they went away for the weekend. Waited for them to reach out. They didn't. The texts praised me, mockingly. Smart choice. See, you can learn. Then, but old habits die hard. One slip and they see the real you. I changed my phone number that week, told the kids it was spam calls, thought it was over. It wasn't. A week later, a plain envelope in my mailbox, no stamp, hand delivered. Inside, printed screenshots. Me emailing Jake's old boss, recommending him for a promotion he hadn't applied for. Me calling Emily's OBGYN office to ask about fertility options for her years ago when they'd been married 5 years with no kids. Me transferring money to Jake's account labeled rent help, even though he lived free. Each with dates, times, and a note, controlling or caring. They decide soon. I burned them in the backyard fire pit that night, watching the paper curl and blacken. But the fear stayed. Someone was close, watching, waiting for me to slip. And I had no idea who, or how much they knew.
The anonymous texts didn't stop with the photos of me rifling through Emily's mail. If anything, they got worse, more frequent, more invasive, like whoever was behind them was escalating just to see how far they could push me. I'd changed my number twice in a week, but they always found the new one. How? I had no idea. It felt like they were one step ahead, lurking in the shadows of my own life. I tried to act normal, went to the grocery store, waved at neighbors, even hosted a small book club with the ladies from church. But inside, I was unraveling. Every buzz of my phone made my heart race. Every car that slowed down on our street looked suspicious. I started closing all the blinds earlier, checking the locks 3 times before bed. Tom would have laughed at me. "Linda, you're being paranoid." But Tom wasn't here, and this felt real. The next batch came on a Tuesday while I was folding laundry in the basement. Jake's laundry, of course. I'd offered to do it because his washer was acting up again. My phone lit up on the dryer. Unknown number. 3 photos attached. First, me sitting in my car outside Jake's old job interview last year, the graphic design firm that didn't hire him. I'd waited in the parking lot in case he needed a ride home or wanted to debrief. The photo was taken from across the street, zoomed in on my face through the windshield. Second, me at Emily's doctor's appointment waiting room 2 years ago. She'd had a scare, some irregular tests, and I'd insisted on driving her. Sat right there holding her hand. The photo showed me talking to the receptionist, probably asking questions Emily hadn't wanted me to ask. Third, me in Jake's basement room, his space, going through his desk drawer while he was out. I remembered that day. I'd been tidying up and found unpaid bills. Paid them online myself later. Each photo captioned, "Waiting like a stalker," prying into private health matters, snooping through personal belongings. Then the message, "Pattern recognized yet? Back off completely or these go to them," with explanations. I dropped the phone like it burned, sat on the cold basement floor amid baskets of Jake's t-shirts and socks, tears streaming. This wasn't random. This was a campaign. Someone had been following me for months, years, documenting every time I helped a little too much. I deleted the texts, blocked the number, again. But the pattern was clear now. Every overstep, every boundary crossed, captured. I started pulling back harder. No more surprise visits to Emily's, no more just checking in calls to Jake's friends about how he was doing. Didn't even offer to cook extra for their lunches. They noticed. Emily called Thursday. "Mom, everything okay? You've been quiet." My throat tightened. "Just busy, sweetie.
garden club, you know. Oh, okay, well, miss you. Miss me or miss the old me? The one who called every day? Jake texted Friday. Coming for dinner Sunday? I typed yes, then deleted. Typed rain check, tired this week. He replied, question mark, question mark? I didn't answer. The texts praised my restraint, cruelly. Progress, see how easy it is when you try? Then, but old habits die hard, slip up and they see the folder. Folder? What folder? That night, a manila envelope under my front door. No knock, just there when I let the dog out, our golden retriever, Buddy, who didn't even bark. Inside, printed emails, screenshots. Me to Jake's former boss. My son, Jacob Harper, would be a perfect fit for the senior designer role. He's just too humble to push himself. Me calling Emily's HR department anonymously. Just wanted to mention Emily Harper deserves that promotion. She's the best you've got. Me transferring money to Jake's account with notes like, for rent, don't worry about paying back. Dozens of them, years worth. And a printed bank statement, my account, showing payments to an abortion clinic 5 years ago, with Emily's name on the memo line I'd added. Medical, love, mom. My blood ran cold. Emily's abortion? The one she'd hidden from me? No, wait. 5 years ago, she'd come to me crying, Mom, I need help. Medical thing. Please don't ask questions. I'd given her the money, no details. Assumed it was something private, gynecological maybe, birth control related. But abortion? She'd never told me, and I'd paid without knowing. The note on the bottom of the stack. Ask Emily about the abortion, the one you funded without knowing. Imagine how she'll feel finding out you know now. I burned everything in the backyard fire pit again, watching the flames consume the evidence. But the damage was done. Someone had my secrets too. Every overstep, every boundary violated, compiled like a dossier, and they were using it to control me, force me to back off. I stopped everything cold turkey. No texts, no calls, no help. Waited for the next move. The texts slowed. Good, keep it up. Then one more chance. Confront her about the abortion, or I tell her you know and how you know. Trap. If I asked, I'd hurt Emily. If I didn't, they'd expose everything. I was trapped by my own actions. The pattern wasn't just my helping, it was control, and someone was making me face it the hard way.
The abortion revelation from the anonymous package hit me like a freight train. I sat in the backyard long after burning the evidence, staring at the dying embers in the fire pit while Buddy whined at my feet, sensing something wrong. The night air was cool for early fall, crickets chirping in the grass, but I felt frozen, numb. Emily, my sweet, responsible Emily, had gone through that alone, and I'd funded it without knowing, paid the clinic bills she'd framed as women's health issues, no questions asked because that's what supportive moms do. Or so I thought. The note, ask Emily about the abortion, the one you funded without knowing, looped in my head. A trap. If I confronted her, I'd shatter her trust, force her to relive something private. If I didn't, the sender would tell her I knew and how I knew with proof of my prying. I couldn't sleep, paced the house until dawn, replaying every moment of that time 5 years ago. Emily had been distant, quiet at family dinners, excusing herself early. Then the tearful call, Mom, I need money. It's medical. Please don't ask. I'd wired it immediately, $5,000 from Tom's life insurance savings, told myself it was probably surgery or something embarrassing, never pushed. Now it all made sense. The weight loss, the sadness she'd brushed off as stress at work, Ryan's extra protectiveness around then. I'd failed her. Again. By morning, I was a wreck, eyes swollen, hands shaking as I made coffee. The texts had stopped for a few days, like the sender was giving me time to stew, or waiting for me to crack. I cracked. Called Emily at work. Couldn't wait. Mom? She answered, surprised. Background noise, keyboards clicking, phones ringing. Sweetie, can you come over after work? It's important.
Is everything okay? You sound upset. Just, please, bring Ryan if you can. She showed up at 7, Ryan too, looking worried. Jake came an hour later. I'd called him in a panic, babbling about family emergency. We sat in the living room, the same room where we'd opened Christmas presents for decades, where Tom had proposed to me on one knee 38 years ago. Photos on the mantle, kids' graduations, weddings, vacations, all smiling, all lies now, or so it felt. I couldn't hold it in. The abortion, I blurted, voice breaking. 5 years ago. The money I gave you. Why didn't you tell me? Emily went white. Ryan's jaw tightened. How, she whispered, how do you know? The tears came then. I told them everything. The letter I'd found hidden, the anonymous texts, the photos, the package with the clinic payment proof. Emily started crying, quiet at first, then sobs that shook her whole body. Ryan held her, face like stone. You went through my things, she said finally, found my letter, and someone's been stalking you? Us? I'm sorry, I sobbed. I thought I was helping, cleaning, organizing, being there. Jake spoke up, quiet, angry. Mom, this is what Emily's letter was about. You do this to me too. The job stuff, paying bills behind my back. It's why I can't get my shit together. You make it too easy to fail. The room spun. My phone buzzed on the coffee table, visible to everyone. Unknown number. Now they know. Good. Keep confessing, or I send the full folder. Emily grabbed it, read aloud. Who is this? Ryan demanded. I don't know, I whispered. Jake took the phone, scrolled old texts I hadn't deleted. Jesus, Mom, this is harassment, stalking. We called the police. Officer Ramirez came, kind but serious, took statements, photos of the messages, the burned remnants, if any. Looks like targeted harassment, he said. We'll trace the numbers, check for cameras or devices. In the meantime, change passwords, numbers again, document everything. He left with promises to follow up. The kids, my kids, stared at me. Emily first. How long, Mom? How much have you been involved? I broke, confessed more. The emails to bosses, the bill payments, the check-ins. Ryan's face darkened. You called my mom, my work? Jake, you forged applications for me? The hurt in their eyes, it was worse than anger. Emily stood. We need space, real space. They left. Jake packed a bag that night, moved to a friend's couch. Emily blocked my number. I was alone, truly alone. The texts stopped, like the goal was achieved. They'd forced the confrontation, exposed me, and now my family was gone because of me.
The police report sat on my kitchen table like a bad omen. Officer Ramirez's card clipped to it, promising follow-up that felt too slow. Days blurred after the confrontation. Emily and Ryan stopped answering my calls. Jake's stuff was gone from the basement. His gaming console, clothes, the mini fridge I'd bought him for convenience. The space echoed now, just boxes of old Christmas decorations and Tom's tools gathering dust. I was alone in the big house for the first time in 35 years. Nights were the worst. Every creak sounded like footsteps. Every car passing on the street made me peek through the blinds. Buddy slept at the foot of my bed, whining when I tossed and turned. The texts had stopped after the family blow-up, like the goal was achieved. Force the truth out, watch everything burn. But I couldn't let it go. Couldn't just wait for the police to maybe trace burner phones. I started my own digging, carefully. Went through old photos on my phone, family gatherings, holidays. Looked for unfamiliar faces in the background, anyone who might have been close enough to watch. Nothing. Checked Emily's social media. Private now, but I still had access from before. Old posts from college, friends I'd met, friends I'd discouraged. Sarah. The name hit me like a slap. Sarah Klein, Emily's freshman roommate at Ohio State. Wild one. Partied too much, in my opinion. Bad influence. I'd made sure Emily moved dorms sophomore year. Better study environment, sweetie. Convinced her Sarah was trouble. Emily had been upset, cried, but she did it. We lost touch with Sarah after that. I searched her name online. LinkedIn, Facebook. Found her. Mid-30s now. Marketing consultant in Cleveland. 2-hour drive. Profile picture, smiling, professional. But those eyes, sharp. A coffee shop meetup request came the next day from an anonymous email. Meet me, alone, Starbucks on Sawmill Road, Saturday, 10 a.m. Or the full folder goes to their bosses, neighbors, online. Everything. Trap? Definitely. But I had to know. I went. Saturday morning, crisp and sunny. The Starbucks was busy. Families, laptops, holiday cups already out. I ordered a latte I didn't drink, sat in the corner facing the door. She walked in at 10:05. Sarah. Older, lines around her eyes, hair shorter, but unmistakable. She spotted me, smiled without warmth, ordered a black coffee, sat across from me. Linda? I whispered. You? Why? She sipped her coffee, calm. You don't remember me well, do you? Beyond the bad influence you decided I was. I remember enough. She leaned forward. Emily was my best friend. Freshman year, we were inseparable. Then you decided I wasn't good enough, convinced her to ditch me, called my parents even, told them I was a bad influence, partying too much. I flinched. Had I? She chose you, Sarah said bitterly, over me. Our friendship ended because of you. I lost my closest friend. That was college. Fast forward, I kept tabs. Loose ones. Saw Emily's life, perfect husband, perfect mom, always involved. Then Jake, stuck in your basement. I watched you control them, smother them, the way you did to her with me. How? I asked. The photos, the records. Private investigator, she said simply. Expensive, but worth it. Followed you for months. Hacked old emails. Easy with public Wi-Fi and weak passwords. The abortion clinic payment. Public records search plus some digging. My stomach turned. I've been planning this, waiting for the right moment. Found Emily's hidden letter when I accessed your house during an open house tour last year. Copied it. You broke in? Borrowed a key from the realtor's lockbox. Easy. I stared, horrified. I wanted you to see, she said, what you do. Force you to back off. Let them grow, like you never let Emily with me. By terrorizing me, threatening to destroy my family? By making you face yourself. Her voice hardened. You ruined my friendship, kept your kids dependent. Emily confided in me years ago, reconnected briefly online, told me about the abortion, how she couldn't tell you, feared your judgment. I teared up. She's happier now, since the blow-up, talking about moving. Jake too. You did this to yourself. She stood. It's over. No more texts, the folders destroyed. You got what you deserved. She left, coffee half finished. I sat there shaking, called Officer Ramirez, told him everything. They arrested Sarah 2 days later. Harassment, stalking, computer trespass. But the damage was done. My kids were gone. Jake to a friend's, then his own apartment. Emily and Ryan listed their house, job offers out west. I'd thought I was helping. I was ruining their lives. And now I'd lost them because of me. Sarah's confession in that crowded Starbucks left me reeling, the noise of blenders and chatter fading into a dull roar. She'd laid it all out, calm, almost clinical, like she was reciting a grocery list instead of admitting to months of stalking, harassment, and breaking into my home. Revenge for a college friendship I'd helped end. Because I'd decided she was a bad influence on my daughter and pushed Emily away from her. I sat frozen as she walked out, coffee untouched, leaving me with the check and a storm inside my chest. The drive home was a blur. Red lights I barely stopped for, horns I ignored, Dublin's familiar streets, tree-lined, holiday decorations already up on lampposts, felt foreign, mocking. How many times had I driven these roads, helping my kids, convinced I was doing the right thing? I called Officer Ramirez from the parking lot of a Kroger, hands shaking so badly I could barely hold the phone. It's Sarah Klein, Emily's old college friend. She just admitted everything. He took the details, name, description, the coffee shop. Stay put. We'll pick her up. They did. 2 days later. Sarah confessed almost immediately, waived her right to an attorney at first, spilling it all.
the private investigator she'd hired with inheritance money, breaking into my house during an open house tour, the realtor confirmed an unauthorized access to the lockbox, hacking emails through phishing scams she'd learned online, the abortion clinic payment, a lucky guess confirmed by digging through public records and old bank statements she'd photographed during the break-in. She'd kept a folder, digital and physical, of every overstep, planned to leak it anonymously online if I didn't back off. But in the end, she'd gotten what she wanted. My family fractured. Charges? Stalking, harassment, computer trespass, breaking and entering. She took a plea. Probation, restraining order, mandatory therapy. The police closed the case. But my life? Wide open. Raw. Emily and Ryan put their house on the market the week after the confrontation, found buyers fast, a young couple expecting their first kid. They accepted jobs in Colorado, Ryan transferring with his engineering firm, Emily going remote for hers at first, then planning to look locally. Jake moved out for real, got a studio apartment downtown Columbus, took a full-time graphic design job at a marketing firm. No more temporary basement life. They both cut contact, blocked my number. Social media, gone from my feeds. I was alone. Truly, completely alone. The house echoed. Buddy followed me from room to room, whining. Nights were endless, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment. The letter I'd found, the texts, Sarah's cold smile. I'd done this. Not her. Me. Therapy started the week Sarah was arrested. Dr. Elena Vasquez, recommended by Officer Ramirez's wife, who'd seen her after a divorce. First session, I cried through the whole hour. I thought I was helping, I kept saying. You were controlling, she said gently but firmly, out of fear. Love mixed with fear is toxic. She diagnosed enmeshment, blurred boundaries where I saw my kids' lives as extensions of mine. Helicopter parenting turned malignant after Tom's death. I couldn't lose them too, I admitted. But you did, by not letting them live. Sessions were brutal. Homework, journaling every helpful thing I'd done, listing boundaries I'd crossed, reading books on adult children and independence. I learned terms codependency, emotional incest, not literal but the over-involvement, realized I'd kept them dependent to feel needed. Jake's stagnation, my safety net removed his urgency. Emily's hesitation on kids, my constant hints made it pressure, not joy. Rock bottom came one night. Thanksgiving approaching, house empty, no kids coming, no grandkids to be. I sat at the kitchen table with a bottle of wine, Tom's favorite red, and cried until I was sick. Called the suicide prevention line at 2 a.m., just talked, didn't act, but scared myself enough to tell Dr. Vasquez. We're making progress, she said. Pain is part of change. I sold the big house, downsized to a 2-bedroom condo in Westerville, closer to friends from church, easier to manage. Donated Tom's tools, the kids' old toys, kept photos, memories. Volunteered at a senior center, helping others without overstepping. The truth? I thought I was the perfect mom, saving them. I was ruining their lives, keeping them small, dependent, because losing Tom broke something in me, and I tried to fix it by holding too tight. Sarah went to prison for violating probation, another harassment charge, unrelated. But her damage? Irreversible. My kids were gone, building lives without me, because they had to. The truth didn't set me free, it shattered me, and rebuilding, that was the hardest part. Alone.
Sarah's arrest should have felt like closure. The police called me the day after picking her up. She'd confessed almost immediately, spilling details like she was unloading a weight she'd carried too long. The private investigator's name, the break-in during the open house, she'd posed as a potential buyer, the phishing emails to access old accounts, even the abortion clinic payment she'd guessed from Emily's distant behavior that year and confirmed through hacked bank records. Revenge, pure and simple, for a friendship I'd helped destroy in college. The detectives were kind. Case closed, Mrs. Harper, restraining order in place. She'll do time for the B&E and harassment. I thanked them, hung up. But closure? There was none. My kids were gone. Emily and Ryan's house sold in a week, cash offer from a relocating family. They moved to Colorado without telling me the exact date. I found out from a for sale sign changed to sold, then a neighbor mentioning the moving truck. Jake's basement room stayed empty. He'd taken everything: posters, gaming setup, the mini fridge I'd bought him. Got a studio apartment near downtown Columbus, started that graphic design job full-time. No more temporary, no more me paying his phone bill to help with expenses. They'd both blocked me: phone, social media, everything. Ryan's mom, who used to call for recipes, went silent too. The family grapevine dried up. The house felt like a tomb. 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, all that space Tom and I had filled with laughter, holidays, grand plans. Now, echoes. Buddy followed me room to room, head tilted, whining when I sat too long staring at nothing. Nights were the worst. I'd wander downstairs at 2 a.m., make chamomile tea I didn't drink, sit at the kitchen table where we'd had thousands of meals, replay everything: the letter, the texts, Sarah's cold eyes in Starbucks, my kids' faces when the truth came out. Rock bottom hit in November, right before Thanksgiving. The holiday loomed like a storm. Normally, the house would be chaos: Emily planning the menu, Jake helping decorate, Ryan carving the turkey while Tom used to tell bad jokes, grandkids someday running around. This year, nothing. No invites, no calls. I drove to the grocery store anyway, habit, picked up a small turkey breast, stuffing mix, cranberries, stood in the aisle crying quietly as families loaded carts with pies and whipping cream. That night, alone with a bottle of wine, Tom's favorite Cabernet from Napa we'd saved for special occasions, I hit the lowest point. Sat on the living room floor, back against the couch, Buddy's head in my lap, drank straight from the bottle, cried until my throat was raw. Thought about Tom, how sudden it was. One day here, the next gone. How I'd clung to the kids after. My lifeline, my purpose. I thought I was keeping us together, I whispered to the empty room, but I was tearing us apart. The wine hit hard. Thoughts darkened. What was left? The house? Empty. Friends? They'd tiptoed around me since the family drama. Church? I hadn't gone since the blow-up, couldn't face the questions. I thought about ending it. Not seriously, not yet, but the idea whispered: peace, no more pain. Picked up the phone, called the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800 number I'd looked up once after a friend's husband passed. A kind voice answered. "I don't know what to do," I sobbed. "I've lost everything, my kids, my family, because of me." She listened for an hour, asked gentle questions, reminded me the pain was real but temporary, that reaching out was brave. I didn't act, hung up exhausted, slept on the couch with Buddy curled beside me, told Dr. Vasquez everything the next session. That was a crisis point, but you reached out. That's strength. We doubled sessions, added grief work for Tom, for the family I'd lost. I sold the house, couldn't bear the emptiness, downsized to a 2-bedroom condo in Westerville, gated community, smaller yard for Buddy, closer to a few widow friends from church. Donated most of Tom's things: clothes to Goodwill, tools to Habitat for Humanity, kept his wedding ring on a chain, a few photos, volunteered at a senior center, driving elders to appointments, playing cards, helping without overstepping. Boundaries became my mantra. The kids didn't reach out. Christmas came, alone, watched It's a Wonderful Life and cried through the ending. New Year's, resolution, change, real change. No more helping anyone without asking. No more assuming I knew best. Therapy homework. Write apology letters. Not to send yet, just to process. Pages and pages. To Emily, for stealing your independence, for making you feel like you couldn't trust your own choices. To Jake, for keeping you small so you'd need me. To Tom, for failing our kids after you left. Dr. Vasquez read them. Good start. When you're ready, we'll talk about sending. I wasn't. Not yet. Rock bottom was dark. Lonely.
But it was where I finally saw the truth. I thought I was helping. I was ruining their lives. And mine. Sarah's revenge worked. She's forced me to face myself. Now, rebuilding from ashes, alone, one day at a time.
Rock bottom lingered like a bad flu. Aches that wouldn't quit, days blending into one another. The condo in Westerville was smaller, cozier, with neutral walls and a tiny patio where I planted herbs in pots because a full garden felt too ambitious. Buddy adjusted faster than me, claimed the sunny spot by the sliding door, tail thumping when I came home from therapy or volunteer shifts. But the quiet, it was deafening. No kids' laughter echoing down the hall, no Jake yelling at video games in the basement, no Emily calling to chat about work drama. I'd lost them. And for months, it stayed lost. Therapy with Dr. Vasquez became my lifeline. Twice a week, then once. We dug deep. My fear of abandonment after Tom's death, how I'd turned love into control. You parented from grief, she said, not malice, but impact matters more than intent. Homework piled up, boundary exercises, grief journaling, even role-playing apologies. I wrote letters, dozens of drafts, burned most, kept a few. Emily's was the hardest. Dear Emily, I've started this 100 times. I'm sorry doesn't begin to cover it. I thought I was helping, being the mom you could always count on. After Dad died, you and Jake were all I had. I couldn't bear losing you too, so I held tight, too tight. Your letter, the one I found, was right. My help was control, invading your privacy, undermining your independence, making you feel small so you'd need me. The abortion money? I gave it without questions because I wanted to be supportive, but I should have seen your pain, been there without judgment. Instead, I added to it with my over-involvement. You deserved space, autonomy, trust. I stole that. I'm working on myself, in therapy every day, learning to let go, to love without strings. I don't expect forgiveness or contact. Just know I'm proud of the woman you are. Strong, independent, building your life on your terms. If you ever want to talk, no pressure, no expectations. I'm here. Love always, Mom. Jake's was similar, apologizing for enabling his stagnation, keeping him dependent. I mailed them, real stamps, no return address pressure. Waited. Nothing for weeks. Then one Tuesday in March, 6 months after the blow-up, my phone rang. Unknown number, Colorado area code. Heart in throat, I answered. Mom? Emily. Voice tentative, tired. Emily, I could barely speak. Silence. Then, I got your letter. More silence. I'm still angry, she said finally. Hurt, but I read it. A lot. Tears streamed down my face. Ryan and I were in Denver now, settled. I got a new job, senior marketing role. Good one. I'm proud of you, I whispered. We're trying for a baby. Joy and pain mixed. A grandkid I might never know. That's wonderful, sweetie. Another pause. Jake read his too. He's doing good. Promoted at work. Dating someone serious. Relief flooded me. I don't know if I'm ready for visits or regular calls, but maybe someday. Whenever you're ready. No pressure, ever. We talked 10 minutes, surface stuff, weather, her new house, the dog they adopted. Hung up crying. Happy tears this time. Jake called a week later. Mom, letter hit hard, but thanks for owning it. We talked longer. He forgave easier, maybe, or less history. I'm coming back for a friend's wedding in June. Maybe coffee? Yes, please. Healing started slow. Emily unblocked me on social media, saw photos of their new life, mountains, hikes, a positive pregnancy test she posted publicly months later. A girl, due in October. They named her Rose, after Tom's mother. Jake visited in June. Coffee turned into lunch, hugs goodbye. No overnight, boundaries, but progress. I kept therapy, volunteered more, mentoring at a women's shelter, helping moms navigate independence without control, joined a grief group for widows, learned I wasn't alone in clinging after loss. The house sold, big colonial gone, condo felt right, manageable. Sarah got probation violation, another incident, prison time. I didn't press more charges, enough damage. The apology wasn't one letter. It was a lifetime of change, of letting go, of loving differently. They're coming home for Christmas, first time in 2 years. Emily, Ryan, baby Rose, Jake and his girlfriend. Small gathering, their terms. I'm nervous, excited, learning to be Grandma Linda, who asks, listens, respects. The perfect mom? No. A better one? Working on it. Every day. Healing didn't come in a straight line. It was messy. 2 steps forward, 1 back, some days feeling like I was sliding all the way to the bottom again. But after those first tentative phone calls from Emily and Jake, something shifted. Slow, cautious, real. The letters I'd mailed were the start. Raw, honest apologies with no expectations. Emily called first, that Colorado number lighting up my phone like a lifeline. We talked for 20 minutes, surface at first. The weather in Denver, cold already. Her new job, challenging but good. The baby on the way, healthy, active. No deep dives, no I forgive you yet. But she called. Jake's call came a week later, casual, like he was testing the waters. Hey Mom, got your letter. It meant something. We met for coffee when he came back for a friend's wedding, a neutral spot. Panera near downtown Columbus. He looked different, taller somehow, more confident. New haircut, button-down shirt instead of hoodies. You look good, I said, meaning it. He smiled, wary but genuine. Feeling good. The job's solid, apartment's mine, no more basement life. We talked 2 hours. He forgave easier. Guys, maybe, or less baggage. Admitted he'd been stuck. Angry at himself, but taking it out on me. I needed the push, he said, harsh as it was. Sarah's role came up. He shook his head. She was crazy, but you gave her the ammo. I nodded, owned it. Emily took longer, months. Sporadic texts, photos of ultrasound, her growing belly, babies kicking like crazy. I responded short, supportive, no pressure. Therapy was my constant. Dr. Vasquez and I unpacked more. My own childhood, Mom a worrier after Dad's early death, always helping in ways that felt controlling. Cycle repeating. You're breaking it, she said. That's huge. I joined a support group for parents of estranged adults, online at first, then in person in Columbus. Women, mostly, sharing stories. Over-involvement after loss, empty nests turning toxic. I listened more than spoke. Learned boundaries aren't rejection, they're respect. Volunteering filled time. The senior center became my second home, driving Mrs. Kowalski to doctor appointments, playing bingo with Mr. Patel, organizing card games, helping without hovering, asking what do you need instead of assuming. The condo felt like line now, redecorated slowly. Soft blues and grays, photos of Tom and the kids on the walls, but not overwhelming. A small herb garden on the patio, basil, rosemary, mint, Buddy approved, napping in the sunspots. Grandbaby Rose arrived in October, healthy, 8 pounds, dark hair like Emily's. Photos came via text. Tiny hand wrapped around Ryan's finger. Emily exhausted, but glowing. Beautiful, I replied. Congratulations. No invite to visit. Not yet. But Thanksgiving, they came back. Emily texted in September, thinking of coming home for Thanksgiving with Rose, if you're open. Open? I cried reading it. Yes, whenever, however you want. They stayed at a hotel, Boundaries. Dinner at my condo. Small turkey, all the fixings I'd practiced. Jake and his girlfriend Mia joined, first time meeting her. Sweet girl, graphic designer too. Rose was perfect, tiny, squirmy with Ryan's eyes. I held her when Emily offered. Tentative handoff. She's beautiful, I whispered, tears falling. Emily watched, wary but softening. We talked, real talk, about the past, the pain.
I'm working on me, I said. Therapy, boundaries, no more helping unless asked. Ryan nodded. We see it. Emily teared up. It's hard, trusting again. I know. Take all the time. Christmas followed, similar. They stayed longer, Rose's first snow. Jake proposed to Mia that spring, called to tell me himself. Emily visited in summer, alone with Rose for a girls' week. We shopped, hiked gentle trails, talked late into nights. Forgiveness came slow. I forgive you, she said one night on the patio, Rose asleep inside. But it's a process. I know. Thank you. Healing looked like visits on their terms, no unsolicited advice, celebrating from afar, baby photos, Jake's promotions, me learning independence, travel group to Italy last year, book club, yoga. Sarah faded, prison, then nothing. The pain scarred, but scars heal stronger. I'm Grandma Linda now, who asks permission, who listens, who loves without holding on. The perfect mom? Never was. A healing one? Yes. Finally.
2 years have passed since Sarah's arrest, and looking back, I can finally see the whole picture. Clear, painful, but healing. I'm 60 now, living in my little condo in Westerville, Ohio, with Buddy getting grayer around the muzzle, but still my faithful shadow. The big house is someone else's now, a young family with toddlers, from what the realtor told me. They painted the porch blue. It looks nice. I'm not the woman I was, not even close. Emily and Ryan are thriving in Denver. Rose is too, a whirlwind of curls and giggles, with a baby brother on the way. They named him Thomas, after Tom. Photos come regularly. Rose in snowsuits, building sandcastles at parks with mountain backdrops. Emily's career took off, director level now. Ryan coaches Level League, they hike, ski, live that outdoor life I never understood until I visited last spring. Jake's engaged to Mia, sweet girl, graphic designer like him. They live in German Village, renovated a cute row house. Jake's firm promoted him to creative director, no more temporary anything. He proposed on a trip to Hocking Hills. Photos showed Mia's shocked, happy face, rings sparkling. They visit, on their terms. Holidays sometimes, summers, no pressure from me. Grandkids? Rose calls me Gamma Lynn over FaceTime, blows kisses. Little Thomas will too someday. I'm Grandma Linda, who waits for invitations, who asks, how can I support, instead of assuming, who celebrates from afar when they say no. Therapy's ongoing, monthly now with Dr. Vasquez. We've unpacked it all. My grief over Tom turning into fear, fear into control. How I'd made my kids my purpose, keeping them close so I wouldn't be alone. I thought I was helping, I say in sessions, even now. You were surviving, she replies. Now you're living. The support group helped too. Other parents, mostly moms, estranged or reconciling, stories like mine, over-involvement after loss, boundaries blurred. We share wins, first unblocked text, first visit, losses too. Some kids never come back. I volunteer more, senior center, now mentoring at a domestic violence shelter, teaching boundaries to women rebuilding lives. Irony? Yes, but healing. Sarah? Out of prison now. Restraining order still holds. I heard through the courts she's in therapy too. I forgave her, in my heart. Her cruelty woke me up. Brutal mirror. Tom would be proud, I think, or sad it took this. I travel now. Italy last year with a widows group, stood where his parents grew up, tossed a coin in Trevi Fountain for wishes, health for the kids, grandkids, peace for me. Dating once or twice, coffee with a nice widower from church, but I'm okay alone, learning to be. The lesson? I thought I was the perfect mom, saving them from the world, from pain, from needing anyone but me. I was ruining their lives, keeping them small, dependent, out of my own fear. Love isn't control, it's space, trust, letting go. They're soaring now because I stopped holding, and me, I'm free too. Finally. The perfect mom? Myth. A better human? Every day. One boundary at a time. Love without chains. That's the real help. And it's enough.